How's it going, everyone? I thought I'd do a little bit more fan art on stream today. And this is kind of like what I have. So, obviously, if you guys don't know, this is Faye from Cowboy Bebop. Definitely one of my favorite characters in that show. Alright, cool. Alright, so. So, I gotta fix some things on this. Let me see. Is this as close as it can get? Or is this a decent viewing point? I think it looks fine. Alright. So this is kind of done in a very light pencil. So I have to kind of grab that. And also have to erase this eye and kind of redraw a part of it. So that's what I'm going to do real quick. As soon as I find that really light pencil. Found it. This is the pencil. It's a coal erase light gray. I don't know if this can actually be seen, but yeah, it's a coal erase light gray. It's great for doing underdrawings. Um, Definitely use it if you want to like make your line really light. Actually, didn't use it on the Alita drawing that I was working on, because if you're gonna use a light box anyway, you don't really need to make a light line yet. Sharpening pencil. I was thinking about getting uh, a electric sharpener at one point. I just never gotten it yet. Hope everyone's doing okay today. So yeah, this part of her eye, or maybe it's the top part. I guess I could just measure it out. But a part of me also kind of likes it, right? Because when you smile, your your eyes kind of get a little smaller in certain areas, and your cheek kind of rises. So part of me kind of okay with it. Maybe I should change the other eye instead. Part of me also enjoys the dual expression going on with it, where one of the eyes looks a little bit more, I guess, sad to some degree, and the other one looks a bit happy. I kind of view that this character like that, where like if you know her story, like everybody in Cowboy Bebop, she has like this thing where she's running away from her past. When her past catches up with her, she doesn't even feel like she knows who that person is anymore. Like she's literally lost herself. And that's the sad part because, again, if you've seen that one part in in the show, you know, it's exactly what she didn't want to happen. She didn't want to lose herself. Yeah, so it is the top part here. I think. Bebop is definitely one of my favorite anime shows of all time. It just does a lot. And I guess no matter how long it's been, it's still a great show to watch. So it hasn't really shown its age completely yet, and that's just great. If you found a way to not watch it yet, definitely check it out. It's great. I hope the audio is coming through clearly. I haven't really checked it in a while. But yeah, I need to just check it on my own though. I brought the mic a little bit more forward so that you guys can hear me a little bit better. Um, but I probably, I assume I still sound the same-ish. I'm not really projecting my voice as much or forcing a certain amount of enthusiasm into my vocals. And yeah, sorry about not making stream yesterday. I just wasn't feeling up to it. I usually push through and just do it anyway. But yeah, yesterday I just couldn't do it. I wonder, would it be better if I put this directly on the mat below? Would it help it like sharpen the image or something? Or is it better like closer? Like it's only a little bit further up. I'm actually drawing on top of this sketch that I have for some of the upcoming chapters. Finally started sketching more stuff out for the upcoming chapters of the Divinity, and I'm really happy about that actually. I was feeling a little bit like not overwhelmed necessarily, but behind. I was a little behind on some of the production, and I was like, trying to get some stuff going, but not trying to completely force it. So that was interesting. This looks like it's going to be a tangent. So what I want to do. Oh, thanks, Davon. What I want to do here is like, well, actually, maybe. Yeah, you can do that. Can I get some Pog Champs in the chat? Yeah, I don't know. I think yeah. I don't know, I'm feeling a lot better today. Cowboy Bebop is great. Check it out. Let me go ahead and pull up some references for the freaking character so that I can make sure I don't make any very easy to see mistakes on the character. Is this as sharp as it can get? Because I want it to be as sharp as it can get so you guys can see the details. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the folder which has random fan art stuff in it. It's actually really interesting. I really feel like this year is like, this year for me is interesting because like I finally started enjoying drawing fan art. I usually Yeah, it's Faye Valentine from Cowboy Bebop. But yeah, this year has been interesting because I usually don't allow myself to do fan art, and nowadays I'm actually sketching and drawing more and producing more. And I'm kind of just like okay with how my skills are turning out, and I'm okay with how much I've done to the point where I'm like, you know what, I can enjoy doing this now because I've done all this other work. Okay, so these are going to be black. I already know that. And I'm actually gonna ink this today with you guys. So that's gonna be cool since all this stuff is already set up. I only really need one tool, but one of those, wait, where's this blue inking tool that I bought recently? Actually, it's blue and black. Where is it? It's not that. Oh, found it. So this is probably what I'm gonna ink this with. This is a Tombow Budenosuke pen. It's kind of like a brush pen thingy, and I have to do some practice marks real quick to make sure it's working the way it should. But yeah, I'm gonna try this out. Grab me some loose paper. All right, here we go. So, oh, you probably can't see that. So this is the lines it can make. Very thin. If you want it to be very thin. And then you can press on it a little bit and get more pressure. And you can press on it even harder and get these thicker lines here. And I bought the one that's not so soft. It's not a soft tip. So you actually have to press on it to get that variation of change. So I kind of like having a consistent line to be able to rely on without having to work so hard for it if I don't have to work so hard for it. If this picture was bigger and it was on, bigger sheet of paper, I would pull out my brush pen. I've just started recently using this style brush pen. This is a water brush. And essentially, I like put some different style ink in it. I wonder if it still works well, actually. But I put some different style ink into it, and it's a very dark ink. Let me see. Do you still work? It's always experimentation. So it's a little odd right now. Haven't actually used this in a while, but this is what I've been kind of doing. Those little fan art pictures that I've been kind of working with. Okay, everything in here is still liquid, so that's good. Alright, so now I'm about to start making a mess. But yeah, the ink is very dark. And when the tip is done correctly. So I got like some what is this called? Dry ink on the tip. But yeah, when it works correctly, makes a beautiful line. Can do some really good stuff with it. It's really good shapes. Brush is very versatile. You can make all these different little patterns and whatnot. It's really cool. Something makes me feel like it's a little clogged around the tip right now. That's okay. So Okay, so now the pen is working. I feel like it is anyway. It's good. It's good stuff. Can do a bunch of stuff with it. Anyway. Do a lot of good stuff with it. Alright, so I'm going to actually ink this and color this. I feel like that could be pretty cool to watch. So that's what I'm going to do. And I already know what colors I'll need. I think I put them back on the shelf. I did like a little mock-up sketch of this before, but it won't take me long to do that again. So I'll go ahead and start inking now. Gonna start off with the left side of like your head here. I guess it's her right side though. Why does it feel like... Okay, there we go. Should probably plan a light source. If there was a light source, I'd put it over here on this side. But other than that, you can get all this done. Yeah, this tool is pretty cool. I don't really feel like anything is as hard to use as the brush pen. So this pen is not that difficult. The only thing that's odd about this is the paper I'm using is kind of has a little tooth to it. So it's not the easiest, simplest thing to glide across. But that's, again, that's okay. I've worked with this paper before, so it's not that difficult, thankfully. Alright, light sources there. That's fine. Now I'm trying to start applying some line weights here and there. Trying to add more dimension with those. I went against the line I already had down because I felt like it was wrong. Alright, almost one side completely done. Getting there. I guess that does do that. So I'll finish this down here and start working my way across again. This pen actually reminds me of using a pencil. That's what it's starting to give me vibes of. Yeah, this pen is not very expensive at all. I think it costs around $4 to $5. It's pretty good. Hopefully the picture is like looking a little bit more like visible now that we're getting a little bit more line work down. I see. There was one line I didn't add on here, it's over here. So do that, and then we have this going up. That should work. Alright. Almost done with the bottom portion of the picture as far as inking goes. Weird. Alright. Cool. Got most of that stuff there done. Now I'm going to go ahead and go around the face. Make sure that's still... Yeah, felt like it lost a little bit of sharpness. Alright. Sorry about that random, I assume, shutter on the screen. Thinking, should I even do that? I think I will. Okay, very thin lines for that. Alright, now I can finally work on the eyes and the eyebrows and things. Start on this side. Oh yeah, for anyone who checked out the video yesterday, thank you. Um, Definitely appreciate it. I dropped a video on Framed Ink 1 and 2 yesterday, kind of reviewing both books. And yeah, Framed Ink 1 and 2 is great. Um, Recommend both books. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. I have some decent points and stuff like that in there. But both are great books. If you are working on creating pictures and image making and things of that nature, you will definitely enjoy those books. I noticed a while ago, well, actually, more so recently, I guess, that the way that I kind of do my noses is a combination of like how older anime used to do theirs. It kind of has like this look to it, where here's the eyes, if you will, something like that, right? And then the nose will be like these little triangle shaded on the side, basically. That's good. It's a combination of that because I kind of do incorporate that type of shading, I guess. But I also think about a little bit of form. So if I have a face, right, and I'm gonna draw in the nose or something, I'm thinking about like, okay, there's so much that I can do here. So I'm like, okay, you have the eyebrow line, stuff up here, travel down. This is the point for like the jaw and everything. You can do like this. You can like aim down here. Mouth goes around here or stops around there. You can have a nose be wide, and you incorporate a little bit of like how the form of that nose is gonna be. Incorporate a little bit of details around this area down here. So I go, okay, this thing kind of denotes like a certain part of that form. And then I can also go, I'll draw both nostrils. If I don't want to draw both nostrils and I just want to show shading on one side, I could just do this. And I could get rid of this one if I want to and just put the other nostril there. Yeah. I'm starting to enjoy playing with shadows more recently. I've been doing them for a while. More shadow work-based stuff, whatnot like that, but just been doing a little bit more recently. Hmm. Okay. It's funny, I thought I fixed the eye, but I think I added or didn't do the same thing that I was supposed to do. Did that do it? I hope so. I like that. Hey, thanks, Slim. Alright, so we're gonna go here. And the part of the ear sticking through here. Alright, cool. We kind of got our lines now, except for this part of this mouth. I know that Faye wears red lipstick, so the only thing I'm going to put line work on is this, right? I'm going to do something here. One that goes like this, and one that goes like this. Let that go thin. Something here. And since her skin is, well, since the lighting isn't as dark, I'm going to leave this one main thing to be this dark here, and maybe I'll do one underneath her neck a little bit, a very small one. So it'll be kind of like this, like where, like this. And that'll be the main stuff that I have there. Everything else I can kind of just keep the way it is. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and darken this now. I don't have to think about it. And Faye's eyebrows seem to be black as well. Alright, now I can start doing more with the black, and then I'll grab some colors and we'll go ahead and color it. Oh, of course. Her eyes, right? What am I doing? So what I like to do sometimes is leave a little space right before it gets to that the bottom part of the eye. It just makes the eye look wet. Learned this from American comics, I would say. I used to pay attention to people like well, I still like Michael Turner's work. Um, he was the original artist for Witchblade. So, yeah, I'm a little bit of a comic fan as well. Definitely on the art side of things. I'm gonna leave that until I figure out if I want to do much more with it. Like that. There we go. Now to add a small ridge for the other part of her eye, and then I think we should be good. Yep, that small is fine. Alright, I'll leave that alone for I find a way to make it odd. Alright. Now, hopefully the ink is dried well. Water-based pigment, hard tip, yeah. I assume the ink doesn't take too long to dry. Jeez. Let me see here. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and grab some of these colors. Because hopefully by the time I'm done grabbing the colors, it will be, dry and everything. So I won't even have to think about it. So what's a good reference material to go by? I guess this one I've kind of been looking at. This looks fine. Mm-hmm. So that's even like redder. It feels. So I could go with that one. Have this. That's darker. Good. Choose both of those. What else do we have here? She has a yellow joint going on their hair. Guess I'll use this one. Let's see what that looks like. It looks fine. I feel like I'd want like something else though. What about this? That could be cool. That could be cool. So I'll use both of those. And green for her eyes. I'm gonna go with something that I feel like will stick out and be interesting. I feel like this is just fine though. What about if I use this side of the tip? It's gonna dry lighter. I feel like that should be fine. That's a maybe. Okay. Got everything except for what I believe would be her actual like skin tone. But they always seem to kind of play with that in a bunch of the imagery. She was very light. Like if you're coloring Faye, you might as well only color her shadows or something. It was a very, I guess it's a very light flesh color. See if I can look around and find something. Anyone has any suggestions and uses markers, go ahead and throw them at me, you know. That's too dark. That doesn't work. I would use that for like maybe her shadow on her skin, but that just doesn't work. It's a 0-1 though. This is yellow red. Okay. See, I could use that. Could use that. And this one is, yeah. Okay. So hopefully the ink is dry now. I'm gonna go ahead and erase. And start laying in some of this stuff. I'm gonna start on the left hand side, since that's where it kind of started. I used to smear so much ink when I was younger, working on like inking a picture. I'll be like, oh, I think it's done, and then just smear the ink and just be like, oh no, like it wasn't done drying. What am I gonna do now? Like I guess I'll get that white out, and then I don't apply the white out correctly and thin across the page, and then I'm like, oh, well now I can't really ink on top of the whiteout because I didn't lay it flatly. So now it's this bumpy surface. The only solution was always get better with the tool, and then if you wanted to redraw the picture. That was the only real option. Anything else was just, just not going to be happy with that picture completely. Even when you do really well on a picture, sometimes you're not happy with it completely, unfortunately. There's a table full of markers now. All right. I think that's back in focus. All right, so let's see. What do we have here? So, oh, I did not choose the color of her hair. It's a good color for her hair. I have a bunch of markers on like my tables. I'm just looking at everything like, let's try this one. Actually, is this my favorite violet color? Is this Imperial Violet? Yeah, this is a Prismacolor. Well, you guys can't see it very well, but this is my favorite like violet that I've ever seen in a marker form anyway, and it's just, it actually doesn't look violet on, let me see if I move this over. It doesn't look too violet, honestly, but it is, right? It actually is. If you actually saw it, like better color grading or whatever, on the camera, you'd see that this is actually really like a purple, like a violet. And it looks really nice. Looks very nice. Alright. So I'm gonna use this. And let's see. If I put this next to this, what does that look like? Yeah, it looks just nice. Alright. Got the red on the face. And we can have those. So yeah, alright, I think I'm pretty much set up. Just need to erase some more things on her face here. Alright. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep the lines there for her mouth. And I think what I'm gonna do, the best thing to do is to start off with the stuff that I feel like I'm gonna have to do a lot on. So I'm gonna do is use the skin tone first. The funny thing is I feel like the skin tone is running out, which is just fine because okay, I don't know why that would be just fine, but just work with me. It's just fine. So again, I'm thinking most of my light's going to be coming from here. So I'm just going to kind of imagine what that's going to be like from my head. I mean, I could just plan it out, I could just grab a pencil and plan it out. Let's see here. Actually, don't need a pencil per se. Here's our face, or here's a random sketch of kind of like what we got here. Right? Light sources mainly here, or most of it is kind of coming from this side and radiating outward. So most stuff here. So I could say that I could also say that since a lot of the light is coming here, wait a minute, technically that wouldn't be true. It'd be more true if the light source was in front of her face, but more so on the side. So it'd be like hitting from here, but more so like where we're standing, but like off to the side, which is why this part of the nose has shadow. But it's not a really dark scene because this part of her face isn't like in very dark shadow, just a little bit of shadow. Okay. So that means that this portion of her face should be brighter, I guess. So I'm going to pick the highest parts on her face here and there to go lighter on. For example, this part of her face here. Maybe this part of her eye, ridge. Oh, see? I already found something I don't like about this stupid pen. It seems to not work very well with these markers, which I should have known. But that's okay. Now, do I have that other weird marker that I hardly ever use? You know, I can make that work. Kinda. No, that's staying. Alright. Alright. So as you can see now, I'm trying to avoid the lines while coloring this in. It is going to be fun. I wonder if this works the same if you were working in watercolor. Like if you're working in watercolor, does ink smears bother you at all? Because like, can you work around it? Or does like your thing you're working with just kind of work differently? Makes me wonder. Ah, this is why people essentially, okay, so what people usually do that I've been seeing is that a lot of people use the markers first and they keep the pencil lines down because pencil isn't going to smear. At least if you're using the color erase ones, they don't seem to smear. And what happens is well, at the end, the last thing they do is add the ink. They don't have to worry about the ink or the marker smearing the ink because they added it last. They added the thing that was gonna smear last. So I gotta figure that out myself. That's okay. I'll get there. And this picture will be just fine. So my main thing that I like to do is kind of blend markers. Purple hair is what makes the character. Oh, word. The main thing I like to do is kind of blend markers, but this is gonna be it's gonna be interesting to blend markers with this situation. Again, our light source is kind of in front of us, but on the side mainly, which means it's gonna hit the top areas here. So to be a little mindful of that, so I'm gonna that here, which is the top part of that plane, I assume, and around here I can kind of add more. You can kind of flick it up a little bit. Go down here. All right. And her other shoulder would relatively, again, be away from the light, but not in complete darkness. Okay. Now I'm going to try and put in this darker color here for values of her face. All right, same thing here. This part of her arm is in shadow, so I'm gonna start cutting in towards this direction. All right, what else can we do? Can do that. Can do this. This part is kind of in shadow. Okay. As you can see, I'm literally just trying to avoid the lines since I know that these things mirror. It's a fun little, balancing act. Alright, so I got most of that in there. Oh wait, wouldn't this create like a... Yeah. Alright. I think for the most part I got that. Cool. Nothing too crazy. Alright, so now I can go ahead and do... I'm gonna do... I think I'm gonna do the, I guess this red. I think that could be cool. I think I'll do it with this one. This type of thing. Except I don't know if I can trust myself to be able to make that work well. I will just trust myself to make it work well. Alright, so again, we have this lighter red up here. And I'm just gonna use this. It'll work just fine. Or will it? Alright. Do I have a lighter red that I want to use? But if I do use it... Oh wait, no, that fits the style perfectly. The only problem is, let me again make sure I'm not off my mark when it comes to the reference materials. Now they usually use about 2 tones, maybe some black. I instantly forgot about the ink. Man, that's annoying. Okay. Not that it smeared or anything, just that I forgot about it. Why isn't it smearing when its red is touching it? Not that I should worry about that, or think about that, or even test that out, but it's interesting. Hmm. Hey, what's up, Jerry? How's it been? Yeah, finally brought out the Copics. You knew Jerry was gonna make it. You knew it. There's no way you didn't know. I need to refill this marker. Oh, is it picking up some ink now? Probably is. Oh, went through the line again. Hurry up and grab that. Alright, it's good so far. He can't keep getting away with this. Alright, so now that I have that applied, I can kind of go over it with this darker marker. Um, Actually, I can go over it with the same marker with the other side of the brush tip, because that should work as well. Just gonna smooth some of this out. Uh, the thing about I would say most watercolor paper, because this is actually watercolor paper that I'm using, is that it has a tooth most of the time. Even if you get cold press, it has somewhat a tooth. I don't think anything is going to be as smooth of a surface as would be a vellum Bristol board or something like that. But the good part is it can handle a certain amount of pigment better than certain other papers. So yeah, that's the good part of that. Here, so here we go. Darker red here. Honestly, the only difference between paper for me is bleed or no bleed. You mean comic paper. You mean that's the only thing you worry about? Yeah, I understand that though. So this is mostly in darkness over here. So we would have it where I'm just kind of thinking out form in my head. It's like, where is this gonna be darkest and stuff? All right. And now to do the other side with a small amount of this, because, it mostly, it has a decent amount of light, so I know that it's going to have the most amount of darkness at the bottom. So this stuff here is in light, we know because of her shoulder, so I'm going to curve away from it. And I know that this part is in shadow, so I know it's going to be in a deeper shadow for this darker color of red. Keep going right into that. Alright, I like the way that looks. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do the yellow now. I know you guys are probably like, why didn't you do the face first? Why didn't you do the face first? Um, I don't know. I eventually just stopped uh being so into like going to the face first because it's kind of like I kind of like to leave the face for last because it's kind of like when you get to the face, right? You want to put a certain level of emphasis on certain things in the face. It's kind of like the thing that most people are going to be looking towards, right? So if you do it first and then you're like, you think it looks good or you think you've kind of done a great job, well, then you got to do all the other stuff that you know that you might not even care that much about. You know, he's like, I really like the face. If you like the face, and you come to the face and you get done, and it's like, all right, now I got to do all this other stuff. For me, I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it for last. I can fix things up. I can worry about all this other stuff that is a lot harder to fix and stuff like that right now, and then later go after the face. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the yellow right now, which should be fun. Bro, face shading is so scary to me. So normally I just put on flat color. Oh, what I have been practicing is just from photographs and also something called I go to ArtStation. I forget the link. I had to find it eventually. I don't know where it is right now, but there's a someone on ArtStation who created a 3D model of an Asaro head. And what you can do on that site, because they made like I guess a posable 3D model, you can also pose a light source on it. So if you're having a problem understanding shading faces, try to look up 3D Asaro head on ArtStation, and eventually you'll run into one that has like a little play button on it. You click it and it starts spinning, and or the light source starts spinning, right? What you can do is position the head and the light source and kind of practice off of like planes that it's showing you. It's a great resource. Yeah. I don't really have one of those 3D heads in my studio or anything like that. I don't have one of those yet. I'll get one eventually. So which parts of this stuff is going to reflect? I know that this isn't so reflecting, but I'm gonna do a little. Oh yeah, again I have to avoid. I'm starting to think that the lighter colors react to the ink more than the darker ones. So be mindful of that. I'm gonna avoid both of those areas and just go across. Left a little white highlight there because it's where the light source is kind of hitting to me mainly. Hmm. Gonna gonna do a little bit of blending. Most definitely poggers. Oh wow, that sounds tough. I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, it's great. You know what else I can do? Something I think I saw from like a someone else who was using these markers. Kind of just use this on this, so you can use the darker one on the lighter one around the tip, and just draw directly on. Yep, gets a little bit of that pigment on there. Yep. All right, so for most of this other stuff, I can kind of just again plot where I'm going to put the light sources. So kind of still want to draw your attention to the face, right? So light source is here. I'm going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and do this and do this. And create like a little visual line of this here. This material is usually shiny that she kind of wears a bit. So I'm going to use that to create a little visual line that like aims up towards the face. Stuff down here should be technically in the dark. So I'm gonna just color that whole thing until we get from underneath of it. And then I will do a little small one there. Then we're gonna have all these wrinkles here, I believe. And then things are gonna get lighter. We're on the top portion of here. So I'm just gonna do this. And yeah, mostly everything else should be fine. Oh yeah, it's definitely pretty vibrant. Yeah, these unfortunately are very expensive. Um, I would say like if you want to sell original art and you're already doing that to some degree, they're definitely kind of worth it if people are willing to buy something from you, which is where I wanted to be a long time ago, but that wasn't the case. But if you can get to that point, these are worth it, or just owning traditional media is worth it if if you enjoy it, first of all, if you enjoy it even without selling anything, it's worth it. Um, if um, if you like markers, this could be cool for you, but also these are definitely quite expensive compared to a lot of other markers on the market. So I would say pay attention to the market and find out which stuff really you want to like use and spend your time and money on that. But honestly, if I do it all over again type thing, if I could, you know, uh I would probably focus more on just my training, just enjoying creating and probably, not buy so many at a time. I thought that that was just the move and it was not the move. Bought a bunch of them at a time. I didn't sell a bunch of artwork. And yeah, they eventually just sat there until I started using them again. But I practice all types of physical media at this point, which is why like I still know how to use them and I still can do something decent with them. I'm always well, I'm mainly practicing values these days, but I did do a little bit of studying on color, stuff like that. So it's a bunch of stuff that helps. like digital, digital software and stuff like that can be expensive. Um, but since you're able to do so much with it, you're able to take it wherever you want. If you got it charged and everything, you're able to learn on it, and nothing goes to waste. All the colors you get to have access to. You have to do a lot of practicing on there that you couldn't possibly do without running out of materials traditionally. But no one can own your artwork. They can definitely commission you. They can't own it. Um, so you won't really get to sell your art other than like selling your services for your art or maybe prints, right? Prints is the way where a digital artist, mainly these days, uh, can make money off of their art other than selling their services. All right, and last but not least, this little part over here, which again, since most of this stuff is in shadow, I'm not gonna worry too hard about it. Let's just check and see if this is gonna drag this ink. Oh yay, yeah, it didn't drag the ink. So maybe there was a little, no, I see some of it coming off the marker now. Maybe there was a little extra time where it needed to like dry or something. I don't know. Now to put a little bit of darkness here and there, certain other parts. So, gonna, the heck was that sound just now? Okay, here we go. Go around it. That's just fine. Okay. All right. What else do we have here? This up top. All this stuff near the hair will be in shadow. So we go in that direction. So, all right. So what else we're gonna do? Some of that here. All right, and that looks pretty cool. Hmm. All right, I think that's about all I want to do there. What color are her eyes? They're green. Her eye color is green. All right, so there's actually one thing I forgot to not necessarily color, but grab, and it's gonna be a gray. So let me grab that. It's like this little thing here. I'm gonna use what is it called? A neutral gray? A neutral gray number 2. That's about there. So I'm gonna do this thing where I just kind of leave this part kind of, yeah, I'm gonna leave this part kind of shiny, kind of work my way away from it and get darker. Hopefully that shows up well. Cool. Get something to drink real quick. All right, so now I can actually start doing the hair. Hair is going to be interesting, but just fine. So these Prismacolor joints also have their own brush variation. I think they have a brush and what, a small tip? Yeah, uh they call it a bullet tip, I believe. I think that's what they call it. It's that thin. It's pretty good. And then you have this. These are also very nice. I actually haven't used this in a while, so let me throw some lines. All right, I think I got it. So I'm gonna start from the outside again. Maybe I should also pick a lighter one. Do I have something like that? I don't need it to be too light, but light enough. So I think I'm gonna go back over the hair with like black in certain areas. Like make it darker. That is around the same color. It's funny. see here. That'll do just fine. Okay. I think it will anyway. Let me make sure again by checking my references. Yeah, most people who seem to color her artwork seem to, yeah, okay. So is it possible for me to just kind of, yes it is, okay. Maybe I should just leave it alone for now, then go around it, and then once I've covered around that area, I can kind of come back to it. Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And for some reason, I'm gonna start right here. Totally forgot to color her ear. Alright, now before I forget, well, technically her ear would be in shadow here. Since most of everything else is. Doesn't need to completely be, but most of it should be. Hey, it's coming out looking okay. For some reason, it looks like a bright, like, blue or something on my screen looking at what you guys are seeing. But all the other things look about right, so that's interesting. It's a little off when it comes to this color. But on my screen, like on my screen, what I'm seeing in front of me looks pretty accurate. So that's great for me. I have to adjust it for you guys eventually. I had to figure out how to adjust those settings. Alright. Oh, it's getting blurry. Alright. Now to do more of this darker skin tone in her hair. Well, not in her hair, but like go more that direction. Alright, so that doesn't stand out too much anymore. Alright, it looks a little bit more better. And I'm still avoiding the eyes. I'm going to go ahead and do the lips now. Which I'm going to use the same sort of values I use down here on this. Guess it's her jacket. I can't remember if I remember her like wearing it though. I don't remember. Also, I'm going to try to give her some sort of light source on her lip. So that could be cool. Alright. I think that looks pretty cool. And what else am I going to do with this? Skin tone, go underneath. Alright. Alright, so when it comes to her eyes, I'm just going to use this green here. Let's see. Yep, it's green. It's around the same exact type of green that I have. I don't really see a problem with using it. Alright, let's grab another green. This is Geo7. See if I can grab something else. This is Geo9. A decent amount different. And last but not least, I kind of have to add these little dark things here. Well, these little parts that go across her outfit. Hmm. There we go. I think that's pretty good. Throws all Copic markers off the table. Huh. But yeah. So I'll just go ahead and add the signature a bit later, I guess. But yeah, I think it turned out pretty good. Which looks pretty cool. This is not in the center of the screen. I am sorry, everyone. That should be better. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming through and hanging out. This is my Faye Valentine. It's actually my first Faye Valentine. So I think that's pretty cool. Thanks, Jerry. I tried. Try to make it into, best I could. Yeah. Used a bunch of different references trying to amalgamate something, trying to make it into something. But yeah, I like the composition. It's basically, censor, but it's not like symmetrical completely. Tried to fix some things here and there, use my knowledge on like what needed to be what. So that's good. and I just picked up a Copic marker to kind of like add a little bit more. But yeah, this is basically done. So yeah, thanks, Kai. You know what I forgot to do? Now that I'm thinking about it, I forgot to add the subtle highlights here, which means that I'm prepared to ruin this picture. But I'm not like married to everything that I've done here, so that's fine. So I actually want to like make these highlights lower a little bit by like doing this. I thought that could be cool. And these are highlights, but don't need to read as strong. All right, cool. I gotta fix my ISO. It seems to get darker for some reason sometimes. Anyway, thanks everyone for coming by. I'm gonna get ready to end the stream and I'll be back tomorrow. I think I'll have enough material tomorrow to finally start working on the storyboards with everyone. So, if you're here for the comic book content and, I haven't been delivering for like relatively 3 days, I'm sorry about that. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have that content ready for you guys. I'm doing a lot of sketching out, different stuff like that. So I'll have all that stuff for you guys tomorrow. I'll probably work on this a little bit more here and there. Though I think mainly it's done. I gotta add my signature and all that stuff, and then I guess I'll post it on social media. But yeah, that'll be it. For tomorrow, guys, I'll be back around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the usual content, hopefully. Um, oh, you like Copic marker streams too? Awesome. Okay, I'll do more. But yeah, I'll be back with the comic book the comic book content tomorrow. Around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So feel free to join me if you guys have time for that. Um, and yeah, if you guys are new to the videos, please subscribe, and like the video if you enjoyed the content. I'll be back tomorrow. See you, everyone.